You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Kent Untermann. In 1980, Kent was recruited out of the San Francisco Bay Area to play football for the University of Hawaii and later entered in the NFL. Because of a leg injury, he cut his NFL career short and started selling artwork at the Aloha Stadium swap meet. He took his NFL $5,000 signing bonus and turned it into a $14 million business known as Pictures Plus.
Let's go into a little bit about your community work then. I mean, you're doing things with the university, you're doing things with your employees. Can you talk a little bit more about that, in general?
Yeah, I sure can. Everybody always kind of hits us up for donations and so forth. And so what we did over the years was say, well, and they're all good, right? There's not, I mean, every one sounds good. I mean, from the Aloha United Way to the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you name it, they're all great causes and people working really hard at a lot of different things. So we had to try and figure out what we could do. Personally, I've always tried to channel my efforts into the University of Hawaii, specifically the football program, since that's something that I did. So what I try to give back a little bit is just with the athletes today. You know, I'll give speeches every once in a while and talking about the importance of education, just so that they get, at the end of the day, get their education out of the deal. I think that that's really important. So, and I support the different facets of the University of Hawaii. Once again, believing that we can't be all things to everybody, so we have to focus at. As far as our the rest of our company, we give through our employees. So we have a pretty open policy. And we also have a policy, we don't donate cash, we only donate merchandise. And so if an employee is a member of or affiliated with some group or nonprofit organization, we will give through our employees. And that way, we're kind of giving two ways. We're giving to our employees, right? We're helping our employees, and we're helping the community. And so we feel that we can get more bang for our buck giving through our employees.
True. Are you finding that most of the employees are taking advantage of that?
To some degree, you know, you have it kind of it's a lot of times the same employees, but we feel like we're still giving back to the community. We're giving through the employees. If some employees choose not to be a part of those that's their prerogative. And so we do find that it's a fewer of them that are more active than a majority of them who are very active. But it's just hard living in Hawaii with families and trying to raise people and afford things. There's always not a lot of time to do a lot of nonprofit work.
Mm-hmm. So are you finding that by talking with the football players, that's almost your chance to mentor them?
Yeah, I've had a few of them, which is really rewarding. You know, because sometimes you're talking to them and think, well, is this even registering? And as I get older, it gets tougher, right? I mean, how do you stand up there, old and gray, 23 years old, and tell them, hey, I was there. It seemed like yesterday. They're thinking, yeah, right, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You look pretty ancient right now. So you wonder if they're really registering, but I've had several of them come up and say, hey, what you said was right on. It really inspired me, and, I've never forgot it. Now I'm doing this and this and this, and thanks so much. And so it's like, hey, if I can help one guy, it was worth it, right?
Do you have any one story maybe or so that seems to
You know what? I'm bad with names. I'm trying to remember the name of the player who came up to me. It was probably about 2 years ago. I wish I did, because I'm sure he's doing very well right now, based on what he was telling me about it. I don't recall his name. I apologize.
Oh, that's interesting. How did you come about with this? Did you always have the community-minded thing from the beginning, or did it come about maybe further into your business career?
I've always been into family and giving back to the degree we can. So I've been asked by the coaches, it's perceived from the outside that we're successful and we've had a successful business. And so the various coaches have asked me to come in and speak at different times. And so I've always obviously, supported that.
I don't know if this is off track, but I recently talked to the dean of the College of Business at University of Hawaii, and I just graduated from the executive MBA program there as well. The thing that I thought was, if you're going to do business in a school, why not have them actually run businesses? I thought, why don't you get, let's say, a restaurant running, like they do at KCC. I mean, KCC can put together the menu. They can have the kitchen people there. They're training that already. And then why not get the MBAs, the accounting, the legal, the marketing, and people involved, people like yourself from the business community and faculty advisors. That way you do a number of things, right? You get revenue coming back to the school instead of leaving it. You can fund educations that way. Students get to network with people from various departments. And, when they come out, they're just way better off because they've gone through it.
Oh, I think that's a tremendous idea, Evan. I think, like any business plan, executing, it's always the difficult thing, right? And
That's
then
where we're at.
yeah, and then some continuity, right? I mean, in any business, a lot of times businesses are built around dynamic people. I mean, you take Walmart for example, and it's a large example, but Sam Walton really set the trend there, and so that would be the only challenge is a perpetuity. I think the students and the energy. I mean, I think it's a fabulous idea. I think the hard part is how do you get it started, and then how do you make sure that it goes to perpetuity, because otherwise there's can kind of be some ebbs and flow in the execution of it.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking is how do you bridge that gap, between leaders like yourself that are almost, more or less, I guess, middle-aged, but then also the people that are much older, they've got a ton of information, they've got a lot of wisdom, and how do you bridge that gap between, the college student or the high school student and make sure it's not lost?
Right. I think one of the keys would be that you would have to have someone, perhaps like yourself, that's passionate about the idea, that's going to really see it through, because you have to have that continuity. And if you have someone that's passionate about it, that sees the vision, that can share that vision and keep it all together, then it's as simple as figuring out what you need, right? Figuring out, hey, I need some older mentors, I need some younger mentors, I need more students that are going to get in the trenches. But I think from the outside, we'd all love, it would be a neat thing in the community to be able to go to a restaurant knowing, hey, I'm here, the food's great, the service is great, and these are all future business people in our community, and I'm supporting them, and hey, I left with a nice big meal, and it could be profitable. So, and I'm a big believer to support your idea and experience. I think that's one of the challenges with going to school. I'll take the student who has great communication skills and is outgoing and has common sense over the A nerdy student.
That would be me then. So where does your wife play into all of this? She started with you in the beginning. Was she doing, a lot of work, and now she's still doing work, or is she doing something else?
Well, I guess I could speak from her perspective that she shared with me. She basically says that I dream it all up and she does it all.
Oh.
So, and that's probably relatively accurate until recently. She is a registered nurse by trade, and she's incredibly well organized. She's the most organized person I've ever met. She's the most efficient working person I've ever met. So she ran our factory until about 3.5 years ago, took a 1.5-year hiatus, and we were drowning, and so she came back. And she's now been gone again for 6 months to be with the kids. And so our plan is she's done, and she has assured me that she's not coming back under any circumstances. So, and that's okay. She deserves to be retired. But she played a huge role in the success to date, and it's really her organizational skills as a registered nurse, I think, that has helped us so much.
How do you think it was working together, being married, and then also growing the business and your family at the same time? Because it sounds like you were married quite young.
Yeah, we were married a couple years out of college. I think I was 25 and Lori was 23.
Did you meet her at UH?
Yep, sure
Okay.
did. Yep.
Local girl?
Yep, she's from Kona.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think has worked well is that our strong suits are opposite. I'm very visionary. She's very well organized. She's a doer. I'm a dreamer. So there's the synergies were very good. I think where it's hard is when you have, say that we're both business-minded people, which she is not. She's not a business-minded person. Then we would have different ideas, and it would probably be a lot more conflict potentially. But we never had, as far as the family went, she always went in very early, like 2 o'clock in the morning. I took the kids to school. Then she would pick the kids up, and we always put our kids first. So our kids were never, neglected. We were like, as she says, ships passing in the dark. So we had to work hard to make sure that we didn't wander. But I think that it's because of the synergies that we had between each other and that we were very different that it really helped. But it could be a disaster if that weren't the case.
And although you were ships passing at that time, it's all worth it now. Oh,
absolutely. And we worked real hard to make sure that we took time. Every Friday we would have a date day, before the kids got out of school. We'd carve it out, turn our cell phones off, and spend time together, and that was really important.
Thanks for joining us today on Greater Good Radio. For more information or a transcript of today's show, please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. This is your host, Evan Leong and Carrie Leong, saying please join us next time for another episode of Greater Good Radio Hawaii.